Welcome back to Whitt Acres. I'm Cody, this is Echo, and we're gardening at home. We didn't get to do our garden tour last week because my brother got married, so we had some things to do during the wedding. We're going to get a tour in this week though. This is going to be week 14 during the growing season. So we're going to go around, see what's blooming this week and what there is to harvest. I actually did a pretty good harvest this weekend. We got a lot of tomatoes. So I'm harvesting tomatoes out here, and I thought I could fit them all in my shirt. I was wrong. I got a bunch more left out here. My shirt is well full. But we'll go ahead and go around and look and see what's out there now. I was actually working at a nice lady's house today and took her some vegetables because I got some plants off of her yesterday. And she used those vegetables and made some nice pepper soup, stuffed pepper soup. So I'm thinking I'm going to try and find some peppers out there so I can make some more of it tonight, because that was good. That was real good. Alright, let's go see what's blooming out there in the different gardens I have. If you're just joining us, I have about 4 acres here in southwestern Pennsylvania, zone 6, and I do flower gardening, perennials, and vegetable gardening, as well as a food forest with some berries and fruit in it. Pretty much growing everything I possibly can so I can figure out what I like and what I like to grow. But first, okay, starting out here, puppy, on the end of the island, everything's pretty much finished up but the zinnias. The zinnias are coming into bloom here and popping through. There's a lot of work to do in here. You can see all the weeds are starting to come up now, grass coming in there. I haven't been doing much in the past 10 days or so since the last garden tour because it's been raining pretty constant here for the past week, so haven't been able to get out here and do much. But petunia's looking good. Everything's finally getting watered. We really needed the water. I gotta get these irises separated eventually. Got this little succulent plant in here still blooming. You gotta get real close to it. But I like having plants in different places where you have to discover them. Got to get up and walk around. This ivy coming around the rocks is starting to make its path. I'm trying to get it to border the whole stone. The nice little run there. I'll tighten that up too. Bird bath is nice and full. Got this pathway with the calla lilies still holding on. They're starting to die back now. I need to figure out what kind of fall border I can put in here. Thinking about changing, or not changing these, but I want to put hyacinths in with all these callas, so in the spring there's a nice bloom of hyacinths, and then for the summer the calla lilies will come in. And then I think I need to find a border plant for the fall bloom. We'll see. Nice little patch of zinnias in here, brings in the butterflies for sitting on the bench. It's been actually working out pretty well. Oh, we still got a calla lily blooming there. That's nice. Coming out here, you can see the abelia back in there is still blooming. That's a nice abelia. Plenty of color there. And then the firelight hydrangea, little quickfire hydrangea actually, is all redded up now. The tree marigold is flopping. Getting pretty heavy. It was about 8 feet tall, but with the water hitting all those little pom-poms, it's gonna get heavy. So you can see that's flopping over now. I'll pop. Yeah, puppy. Got the grass taken off in the giraffe now. It finally took hold. It's nice. I believe that is a maiden grass, miscanthus. So I'm going to let that fill out the pot a little bit. It was a little young when I bought it, but let that fill out the pot, and then I'll find a place for it in the landscape. The bee balm, Monarda, is trying to come back now. It wasn't looking good when I put it in, but it looks like it's in its new location. I got some zinnia, pretty tall zinnia blooming here next to some marigolds. More coming on that corner yet. Here in the weeded up poplar bed, we can see the sedums coming into flower. It's a nice red sedum. I have a couple of those 4 of them spotted in here, and then the big one back there is going to be a nice pink one. But the poplar garden here kind of got all left to the weeds because I didn't get it mulched. But I'm gonna have to get in there, weed whack, get it weeded out as best I can, and then get a nice heavy layer of mulch in there for the winter. The driveway pots are doing okay. They could have been watered a little bit more often. This rain we just got kind of beat them up. But the sweet potato vine and the bubblegum petunia are doing pretty good, filling out the whole pot. This one has the canna lily in it, but it never did anything. I don't think it has enough room in there with the sweet potato and the 3 petunias I have in there. In the food forest, my pollinator patches are finally blooming pretty late. We got orange, pink, red, white, and some marigolds. The nectarine tree is looking gorgeous. Thing got massive. I came in here and pruned it out halfway through the summer. Got kind of the crisscrossing branches and the internal branches out of her, and she just shot up a couple extra feet. This is the 2nd season for that nectarine. Get some more pollinator patch here with some marigold zinnias and the borage, which the borage isn't blooming right now. Over here we got a ton of cherry tomatoes I've been picking. You can see there's more in there to go, but plenty of cherry tomatoes. We got some bigger tomatoes in there. We got the yellow pears as well. See the yellow pear, a little bit milder. And then I can kind of see one in here. I'm trying to find it. Oh, that one's rotten, but this one's not. Oh yeah, it is. Got some rotten tomatoes in there. Didn't get them picked in time. Because this is what happens whenever you grow your tomatoes without a stake. They just sprawl out all over the place. They get pretty big, pretty wide out there. Take up a lot of garden space. Over here, these were the Rutgers tomatoes. You can see there's still some more in there ready, but my measly little stakes and string were no match for these tomatoes. The basil's looking really nice, real plump basil. This tomato crushed part of my basil. But yeah, they're still growing. They're fine. They're just not looking as pretty as they could be. Big basils. And then over here I got my split morning glory blooming, just for some added color. Still blooming. I like that frilly looking flower. Nice different morning glory. Got some marigolds blooming in here. Next to more basil. More tomatoes. I actually just did a big pick. I'll show you on the patio all the tomatoes. Oh, I got a lot more ready. These are all the Romas. They're pretty small, but I'm getting a pretty good amount of them. Here's some borage that's blooming. Some nice blue flowers there. Then we got the blueberries. They're ripening up. I like them a little bit underripe. More dark purple than red. But blueberries are pretty good. Behind me here I have some more beans that need harvested. Looks like the Lima's beans are getting pretty ready too. They're starting to plump up a little bit. So I'll be able to get in there and get some beans. I've been messing with the fish tanks, and some fish will actually eat some green beans, so I have to try that later because these green beans are ready. Something else is trying to eat them, so I'm gonna eat that one. After I harvested my first round of green beans, something did come in here and eat most of them. Topped them right off, but I have a little bit of patch right there left. Up. Here's a little zucchini over by Puppy here. This zucchini, this is what happens when you grow zucchini in way too much shade. You get little ones. Tiny plant, way too much shade. To the entrance of my food forest here, it finally filled in the little marigold patch I was trying to get. Real late, but I got an early girl tomato coming in. That'll be ready tomorrow. And I don't know why this cabbage is here, but it's still trying to head up. I like a little tomato there. Another early girl tomato that I need to tie up. It's getting a little tall. Another tomato ready in there. This volunteer gourd I have out here is taking off. I need to actually steer it away from my herb garden. It is flying out here. It's nice and hot, so I'm able to pick this up carefully and move it. You don't want to be moving vines in the morning. You want to wait till they warm up and get a little bit more malleable. But we'll see what happens on this gourd. They only produce fruit on their secondary vines, so I'll have to wait a little bit longer. There's a male flower coming, so I'll have to wait for the female flower to see which kind of gourd this is, but it's taking off. It's doing pretty good. What about my sweet potato vines? Got some weeds in here, but yeah, sweet potato vine. This is what they should have looked like in mid-June. Now we're in mid-August. So I don't know if I'm going to get a sweet potato out of these or not, but even if I get one, I'll be happy. Now look at this. Tomato stake's not holding up either. Over here. Got more yellow pear. This yellow pear, that is all yellow pear coming out of here. Way too much. That is a ferocious plant. Way too much yellow pear. I got some geranium kiss in here. Looks like there's some, oops, sorry, leaf. There's some geranium kisses in there ready. Looks like I have a white tomasol. A couple white tomasols coming in. Here's the yellow ones. Yeah, these yellow tapered ones here. Oops. These are the Chernobyls. A little bit low acid with the yellow. And then over here we have the beefsteak. So it'll get a little bit bigger, be a real meaty red potato. Oh yeah, here, this is what I was looking for. Peppers. We got plenty of peppers. So these are all bell peppers. I can be picking for my stuffed pepper soup tonight. And then over here we got some poblano peppers. They might even go in the soup if they're not too hot. Might have to test that out. But yeah, pepper's doing good. Pokeweed doing real good. Big old pokeweed. I still have okra here. I ate it raw once. It was okay. I wasn't too keen on it, but I do want to try it fried. So I'm letting some of these get a little bit big so I can chop them up and fry them. Right, pup? Put another pollinator patch with some sunflower even. A little sunflower and some zinnias. I think it turned out pretty good. This one's a nice one, getting full sun. Got my hot peppers over here, putting out some. Oh yeah, jalapenos. Look at this. That's a big, I can't even show you it. It's a big arm of jalapenos right there. And then I got a ton of cayenne peppers here coming in, turning red now. Got some more fire cayennes turning red over here. Weeds coming in. More weeds, plenty of weeds. But yeah, they're doing pretty good. I think over here some more bell peppers. Probably some nice and big ones, huh? Green. Yeah. Oh, here's a big purple one. So yeah, I'm gonna be harvesting. I'll have some stuffed pepper soup tonight. Another big pokeweed. Jeez, that's a big one. Not really, they get a lot bigger than that, but it's way too close to my blueberry. Sorry, blueberry. It is a hot one today. Super hot, already sweating pretty good, and the sun's coming out now because the rain stopped. It's just getting hotter. So we're gonna come down to the garden now. Puppy's already down here. Let's see what he's doing. I think he's hunting a rabbit because there's a rabbit living in my watermelon patch. Up, Pop. What are you doing, buddy? Did you find that rabbit yet? Look at this jungle. That's squash vine up there, climbing all the pokeweed and different weeds. And I think we look in here. You see that? You guys see that hole? That's a big hole where the rabbit's living. Puppy wants it, huh, pup? We're in here in this weedy jungle. Show you the raised beds first. Got some carrots I could probably pick. Yeah, little baby carrots. Is that any good? It's dirty. We got some baby carrots coming in. Some basil. What is that? What kind of bug is that? Alright, I lost them. There's a weird bug I was trying to see. We got some beets. We got a cute little pair of beets right there. They look ready. I harvested my onions and I just chopped all the roots and greens right off into the bed. I'm gonna leave those there. I harvested zucchini, but geez, I got more zucchini to harvest. Good 3 on that one. They're doing real good in the compost raised beds. And look at these ground cherries. These little Chinese lantern looking things. They're all ground cherries. And they are doing crazy good. And here's a yellow crookneck squash, and I definitely have another one of those to harvest as well. Got some beans coming up through here. Oh, that's a radish going to seed right there. Forgot about that radish. Got another zucchini plant right here. No zucchini though. Did get all that one yesterday. Yep. In here the marigolds. I got some lettuce that got overtaken. Yeah. Everything pretty much got overtaken. See if there's any beets bulb. Oh yeah. I got some beets bulbing up in here. Can you see those? Huh? Can you see them? There's beets. They're bulbing up pretty nice, so I'll get some of those for the fall. That'll be nice. And then we got some more tomatoes in here. I actually had some of these orange, sweet orange lunchbox tomato or peppers. And oh yeah, there's at least 1, maybe 2 in there for the soup tonight. That'll work nicely. My pollinator patch beside the vegetable garden is doing good. These zinnias are where it's at. You want some color? Get some zinnias. They bring in all the bugs too. Got this gladiola falling over. Try and hook that on its mate, so still got some color. Elephant ear is doing pretty nice. This is a nice big one. About 4 feet tall or so now. Good 2-foot leaves. Doing real good. Got a nice trunk on that thing. I need to rip out this whole bed. Definitely. I just need to rip it out and cover it with a fresh coat of compost. And we're going to let her sit for the winter. Look at this carrot. Let's try and pull this carrot out. Okay. Yeah, we got a Siamese type carrot there. We got another big one here. Ooh, that's a decent carrot there. Not bad. Can you throw carrots in stuffed pepper soup? Let's see, why not. And look at the gherkins. You see all these gherkins on here? Can make quick pickles, I guess, with them, or just eat them fresh. A lot of nice gherkins on there. You see that big sunflower in the back? Yeah, that's a nice big volunteer sunflower. Grew up in a beautiful spot right behind the asparagus bed here. Got real tall. I'd say it's probably 8 feet, maybe 9. Nice 12-inch head at least. The asparagus ferns are full. Another volunteer sunflower. In here I kind of left this patch of tomatoes go because it was dry for a while and then it rained, and you can see they're all split. So I don't know, I got a lot going on in other areas, so I didn't even harvest these tomatoes. I had plenty from the other areas. These are my peppers, and I got some bell peppers on here. I thought these were supposed to be banana peppers, I think, when I planted them. But they are clearly, oh, these are the California bell peppers, maybe. Yeah, these are the California bells. Got an eggplant in there ready to harvest. Let's see that eggplant. Come through this big patch of marigolds that all fell over. Oh yeah, that's a good size eggplant there. Nice curve to them. I think that's gonna get cooked up just like the zucchini does, sauteed or fried on a pan with some panko oil and Parmesan cheese. My squash finally got hit. This squash was my first plantings from the spring, so the squash bug finally got to them the other day and wrecked them. So that kind of prompted my zucchini harvest and everything else. You guys remember this Royal Empress from my beginning garden tours in the first couple weeks or so? We cut this down to the ground. There was nothing down at the ground, and this is all one season of growth from the Royal Empress Palawonian tomatosa tree. Gorgeous. That's got to be 12-15 feet almost. Well, every bit of 12. That's doing really good. And it is an echo me out. Puppy squashing all my squash. Out here is all my pumpkins and gourds. You can see the snake gourds on the fence. Whoa, I'm stepping on it. It comes way out here. Whoa, that's a big snake gourd. That is out there. Okay, trying to hit that. Snake gourds climbing off the fence there. And we got some pumpkins in here. You can see that orange pumpkin there. That is a Connecticut field pumpkin. Then we come over here. I think we got another Connecticut field, not quite oranged up yet, but a different shape, kind of like a tooth really. I think you'll call that a tooth shape in the giant pumpkin growing world. But we got some orange pumpkins going through there and a bunch of different gourds. You can see the orange. Get some more orange, another one there. So like I keep saying, this is going to be a nice scavenger hunt. Once all this starts dying back here at the one more month, I'll be going in and finding everything I can for decoration. See that? Nice little weird gourds in there. This is going to be fun. It's about 120 feet of squash, gourds, and pumpkins. I got an Atlantic giant pumpkin in here, but it's a little bit smaller. It doesn't have a real big plant. What you doing in there, puppy? You can see I got my sunflowers blooming on top, looking real nice. Got them going all the way down. Well, I tried to, but not all of them cooperated. A nice tall one there. Tried to put the multi-headed sunflowers over here so I could actually see them. That one did real well. You can see the corn is tasseled. So that is the male flower on top of the corn. Right there, all the tassels. And then the female flower is attached to the ear of corn, and the male shakes in the wind and drops all of them down into the female, and they're pollinated. So a lot of the corn's putting on weight now. You can see the ear is actually developing. So it's looking real nice out here. Cornfield all the way around. It just rained, so they don't look their best, but these are the petunias, real nice and full. It did fill up the whole entire bed. Those are just 3 petunias. The marigolds in there, still popping some color. That's the French dwarf marigold, and that is the jaguar marigold. You can see my red snapdragons are all flopping. They got pretty tall. They're smelling nice. But I tried to get them in that ring, but with this rain, they just got so heavy. They're about done though. They gave me a good show. I had a volunteer gladiola pop up in here. I never planted gladiolas in here, but I got a volunteer. Beautiful red gladiola coming from seed. I think it came from this bed right here. Last year or the year before. It's the Minor Labota Jungle Queen climbing up. It's not actually blooming. Hopefully that'll get a couple blooms this year. It's way behind. But yeah, this bed of gladiolus that is now all done blooming, it's probably what seeded that other bed. Dog pool's doing good. You can see it's green. It was all clear water. And I think it's working just the way it should. If you want to check out the pond videos, go ahead and check those out and do those a little bit separate from the garden tours. I mentioned that nice lady I was working for made the stuffed pepper soup. She also let me grab some of her perennials that she had extra of. So I got some lungwort here, some lamb's ear. This is a pink yarrow in there. And then I got a little decorative red grass here. This I believe is like a bear mat. It's like a very durable ground cover. And there might be something else in there, but I'm gonna have to dig those out and be doing some planting of those here soon. Got my pineapple. Off the patio's doing pretty good this year. Got a couple of the roses blooming. Got that volunteer sunflower putting on a hell of a show. And then the bank here is pretty colorful if it'll focus. I got this volunteer gourd growing out of the patio crack right there, and it's producing all this, going out that line all the way out, growing into the garden. You're going down this side all over the container. It's going across the steps, but I gotta leave it go. It's doing too good. Ooh, this is the first time I'm seeing this. But it is producing. That is not a healthy gourd, but it's producing gourds. There's one up here too. It's trying, so I'm gonna let her try. And go ahead. Got the French dwarf marigolds doing good. The last rainstorm actually split my pink zinnia there, split it up good, so I don't think it's gonna do too well. Down here we have some volunteer old ladies carpet coming in, and the rest of the bank is looking pretty full. It's a little beaten up by the rain, but otherwise looking pretty good this year. Coming out to the front yard here, you can see we're getting some grass seeds spread out and strawed, so the rain is helping us out there. Hopefully we can get this yard back together before the winter comes and makes it all muddy. The perennial garden is looking a little overtaken. We got some sedum in there, the hibiscus, the barberries. That sedum should be blooming here soon. Hosta's in there. Got some zinnias and morning glories blooming yet. The white daisies, if we look in here, is blooming. Just gotta look past some of the weeds. Beautiful white daisy in there. You got a nice purple or pink zinnia. These are crocosmia, and they are still blooming. It's pretty long for those, I think. Red and orange. This is my nice dark leaf hibiscus. It's a little young, but I got 10-inch hands, so that's a good 8-inch flower. Nice good sized flowers. The rain's weighing them down, so they're not sticking up like they should be. But I think that's doing pretty good. I think I might even keep that there for next year. Got the little purple magenta cleome looking real nice. Got multiple arms flowering out here. And I like his flower. Very intricate bloom, and I really like it. Blooms for a good long time too. And you can come in here. What kind of bug is that? That is a weird bug right there. It's like a stink bug. But like, oh, what the heck? I have a lot of them. What is that thing? Like a designer stink bug. That's so weird. Never saw those before. We got the hollyhocks reaching up back there. That one's a good 6.5 feet tall actually, so that's gonna keep blooming nicely. Got the red zinnia by the red barberry. I like that barberry. It's a little overtaken by the weeds right now, but that is really putting out some color for not having any flowers. The limelight hibiscus is still putting out some new blooms, which is nice. Bright white blooms, and then it starts to tinge to red, but it actually just goes brown before it actually goes red. I don't know. It's just the first year for them, so they're struggling a little bit. Plus, if you saw or have been following along, you know we had to dig all these up and put them all back in because we had to drop a big maple tree out here and they were in the way. Over here underneath the redbud tree, we have some paradise petunias blooming nicely there, doing real good on the ground. Puppy, where are you going? You are on the wrong side of the fence, puppy. Oh, next to all that purple elderberry. Puppy's gonna go hunting rabbits. We have a nice black-eyed Susan bush here. That thing got real full. Next to Sarah Smile Rose in the center, and another black-eyed Susan on the side. So I'll get a full view of this corner for you. It's looking real nice, I think. Got the old lady carpet here on the left. This is ranunculus. Coxcomb, I mean. I always call it ranunculus. Big bee on there. Just chilling out because he got all wet. But this is a nice full row of coxcomb. It finally got into a full bloom. You can see we got a lot of it. And it's all turning pink. Good 2.5, almost 3 feet tall. Real nice view of coxcomb here. Very happy with that. Very happy how that turned out. In here I gotta do some weeding. Got some crazy spiked thistle taking over my corner bed here. The blue jean baby Russian sage is still blooming. It doesn't ever want to stop. Been blooming since I put her in. Looking real nice. I'll be taking these coxcomb flowers as they turn to seed, and I'm just gonna save them. Just like almost any flower. You can just cut the fan right off, drop it in a container, let them get some air for a while and dry out, and then you'll be able to just crush them up and spread them out. I even have a video if you want to see how we did these. You can look back and see one of the projects that I did to get these all planted with my dad, and go ahead and check that one out. Got some more hollyhocks back here just on their first year bloom. They're not doing a lot of color, but they're blooming nicely, and they're feeding the bees, which is important. This tree here is 3 years old. I planted this seed 3 years ago in a container and moved it out here in the spring, and this is its 3rd growing season. You can see how big this tree is. I got 10-inch hands, and this base is every bit of 12 inches across diameter for a 3-year-old tree. That's pretty massive. Got some hostas around it in a ring, and I just love this tree so much. It's supposed to bloom once it gets about 7 or 8 years old maybe. So I'll be shaping her, trying to get her all ready for the time for her to bloom. Hump up. We got a 4 o'clock right here that volunteered. Nice little trumpet shaped flower. They don't actually want to be open during the day. They call them 4 o'clocks, so they open in the evening, but around here they end up opening around 7, maybe 8 o'clock at night, around till maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. So they're an evening bloomer, which is kind of nice depending on where you put them. Up here along the road, we got the marigold line going all the way down. We did lose another arborvitae, you can see there. And the marigolds have done pretty good. I got some volunteer nasturtiums coming up around them. Puppy cruising underneath that castor bean that's looking glorious. That's definitely going in the jungle garden next year. Got some sunflowers blooming up back there, which makes it look pretty good in the gap from the arborvitaes. Got more 4 o'clocks in there, and some more marigolds coming down here. Lost one marigold. Actually, got dry for a while, but a little bit of rain's pushing new growth on that. Marigolds are a strong, sturdy plant. They'll last. And then out here we get into some more vines. Got my clematis is about done on the mailbox trellis, so the morning glories went ahead and took over, that's just fine with me. Got the hostas around the bottom, but they're all done. Into the petunia, chameleon vine, and a watermelon out here by the road. That's a nice watermelon. I'm thinking that's almost ready. You want this tendril here? You want that tendril to dry up. You want that to be brown and dried up, but that's getting close, I think. Got a couple small ones in there as well, but that big one's nice. Coming down here, we got some more blueberries, tomatoes, just all sprawling out. And a little watermelon, that one's cute. Got the Easter peppers, just for decoration. Orange and purple peppers. Got this, a lot of little blueberries in there blooming. I don't know what's eating them, but the wildlife can have them. Over here we have this fern-like vine. This would be called a cypress vine. It's real similar to a cardinal climber morning glory family, but it has the frilly looking vines. In here is finally starting to bloom. This is a purple hyacinth bean vine. That's the flower and that's the leaf. There's a nice dark purple veining to a dark green leaf. And a very pretty race-me style bloom. And nice, this one's progressing. So once it blooms, it'll start producing some seed pods, like these dark burgundy seed pods. And they'll plump up like this. And you'll get some nice seeds for next year. I don't know, let's pop this open, we'll see. Yeah, she's not ready. It's an immature seed. It'll be a nice black seed with like a white center. It's kind of neat. It looks like an Oreo, but yeah, those are the seed pods for the purple hyacinth bean vine. I like that plant. This is my apple gourd. Nice big one plump there. They are all growing up this trellis, or not trellis, but dead lilac tree that I'm using as a trellis. You can see that purple hyacinth bean vine made it all the way to the top. And so did the one gourd. Looks like the apple gourd made it up there. I'm hoping they start branching out. You can see that's blooming all the way up there. That bean vine's blooming. It looks good in person, but I'd like it to fill out a little bit more. This is its last chance. If it doesn't fill out this year, we're gonna go ahead and cut the dead tree out of there and do something else. Right now, this is my jungle garden with the canna lilies and elephant ears. Down here is a balloon flower. I got the Russian sage, got the gladiolas out here, and the knockout roses are actually coming back into bloom. Ooh, I just noticed. I have this variegated canna lily. Both of these look very nice on the flowers, but it did finally put up a flower stalk. I think this is going to be a nice bright orange, but we're going to have to wait and see. Over here the canna lilies are doing very good. You got the yellows and the oranges putting out a ton of blooms. More yellows and oranges, and even a red. You got the elephant ears in here as well. And then what kind of food grows in a jungle? I don't know. But I got some banana peppers in here too. This one's actually, that one's ready. I'm turning red. So it'll be green, yellow, and then red. But got some peppers out here as well. But what I did notice, I wanted to come over here. Oh geez, keep seeing something. Always something to look at. This is the perennial moonflower. This is a datura. So it has that nice purple and frilly, like, I don't know, crinkly flower there. While the moonflower just has the very large white trumpet. But I like them. That moonflower came back from seed from having them here last year. Over here, what's this bee doing? What's that bee doing? It's hanging out on my, I think this is a Crespo squash or some type of squash. But as a volunteer, it's doing pretty good. This is my crepe myrtle. This is the dynamite red crepe myrtle that this morning glory's trying to climb up on. And it does look like it's putting out some flower buds. So that's gonna be nice. I didn't think this was gonna bloom this year, but it looks like it's trying. So that'll be nice. We got the Rose of Sharon's blooming on the outside here. They always look good every year. Coming out this way, we got another volunteer sunflower coming in. This nice grass. And then I had a nice volunteer sunflower here as well. It grew up, a deer ate it, so it put out multiple shoots, and then the storm blew it apart. So it was going to be a nice branching sunflower, but storm beat it up. I'm trying to limp it along as I can. Look how big this annual burning bush is getting. It gets huge. Like, come here, Pop. We gotta show size reference. Come here. Look how big that bush is. That's an annual burning bush that volunteered from last year. So they can get pretty big. So, and then I wrapped them around my hemlock here. And I guess I could have planted them a little denser, because look, these two were close. Made a nice little hedge there. They're so soft and frilly. I always find the rabbits in here in the morning. They always run away. Over here we have some pollinator action. Oh, 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 butterfly. That's a monarch butterfly fluttering around. Checking out my big red zinnias. Looking pretty good right where I put them. There he is. He's back. Flutter puppy dog. Over here we have the front of the house, and I have a nice marigold line going down here. And in the center is the purple allium that's just finishing up. We had this nice purple basket here, and it looks like the one side isn't doing as good as the other side. What do you think, Pup? This pot here ended up doing pretty good. The 3 lemon lime or something coleus filled out nicely. The portulaca have been blooming nicely. Like I said, it just rained, so everything's kind of beat up and mushy. But the fern back here was supposed to get a little bit bigger than the coleus, and it just seems to be chilling down there. But turned out pretty good anyway. I really got to mow the yard and do some edging, but it's a little bit too wet out here to do any of that. The Rose of Sharon's blooming pretty nicely. And we got the impatiens here out front for some color. Puppy's gonna trape right through the hosta bed. This is where I'm throwing my varieties of hostas, just so they can grow up, get a little bit bigger, so I can split them and get them out into the landscape. I'm actually having a second flush of hosta blooms over here. This is the Empress Wu. It's putting out another flush. It already did one early summer. You can see another flower stalk coming up. So I don't know, they might be confused. Got some buds on my rhododendron here. Hopefully they can make it through to the winter. These lime, they were like a really bright lime color hosta here, and they just got sunburnt. For some reason they got bleached. Didn't have a good show with this rhododendron this year, but I am having a ton of bud sets on it. So as long as I can get it through the winter with the bud sets, those will bloom in the spring. That'll be a nice big show there. Get the 2 astilbe and the hosta here. But this hosta's done, and there's a astilbe. They get too much sun. I think I need to move these 3 somewhere a little bit shadier. Alright, we're gonna head up to the pergola, finish the tour up there because it's blooming pretty nice. And the dahlias are finally coming in. So we finally got some dahlias out here blooming. Got one gladiola finishing up. And the dianthus putting on a 3rd flush. Nice. We got some red ones blooming, the dahlias. A nice red pom-pom there. And then we got these big Kevin's Floodlight blooming. Good 8-inch blooms, more coming. I was hoping to get some different colors, but we're just getting red and yellow so far. Here's another big one. Pretty good size, probably 6 inches there. But here's a lilac thyme. So that's a purple one, so hopefully that will bloom here soon. I see some bud sets on her. We got some gourds growing out here, reaching across the pathways, doing pretty good. Got this volunteer sunflower just looking glorious. Look how pretty that thing is. And back out here so you can see the full scope of that sunflower. Right at the end of the path, and that volunteered there. Couldn't be more perfect. Now at the bottom of the trumpet vine we have a nice pollinator sitting on the pink echinacea. Red trumpet vine was blooming the other day, but looks like it's done now. I actually did notice we got a bird's nest up in that vine. Something's hanging out in there. I got some more gherkins climbing up this trellis, making a nice curtain. That's a big gherkin. It's the Mexican sour gherkin, world's smallest watermelon. Tastes pretty good. I like when they get really big. Looks like I got one little pumpkin, and then the vine died. Huh. Must have got squash borer. Got some bug on there, but yeah, that vine didn't make it. You can see the gourds climbing up the back doing pretty good. Covering up the trellis, almost as good as last year. Trellis is getting fully covered. We have over here some pumpkin on a stick. These to be used for cut flowers and just arrangements for fall. Got another volunteer sunflower right there. Gorgeous. You can see the vines pouring off the side here. Oh, down at my feet. Got another eggplant ready. A puppy. Puppy, look at you. Look at you, pup. That's a nice picture. I'm gonna have to get that picture later. Might be the thumbnail. Because look at this vine arch. No longer an arch. Once the rain got too heavy, pulled my arch all the way down. You can see from this side, it was a nice full bloom while it lasted. But just today with the rain, it collapsed it. So I'll have to get a nice picture of Puppy, probably right around here. Puppy, come here. Come here. Face. Come. Come. Keep Blythe. There. This is how we get some thumbnails right here. Pup. Echo. Focus. This is actually the next day, but as I was out working, I picked up this bamboo stake that's a good 8 feet tall. It's a real bamboo stick. And I got my arch put back up into place. All I did was wedge it in there on the wire, so hopefully that's gonna hold now. We don't get too much wind. What do you think, pup? Look good again. The rest of the pergola is looking pretty good. You can see the top is getting covered. Filling up the top there. And if you come on inside, it's filling up on in here too. We got some fruit dangling off the ceiling. Some apple gourds and dipper gourds. Inside the pergola is nice and shaded. We got the curtain of Mexican sour gherkin right there covering up my peony. I have a big peony right there, but you can't see it. Got this nice big variegated grass. I forget which one this is, but it's getting tall. This is a cosmopolitan maiden grass. I'm hoping that will pretty much cover that whole section because I want the entrance to the pergola to be here in between the honeysuckle and the blue passion vine. So that's going to get blocked off with plants. And that's going to get blocked off with plants. And we're just gonna come straight in here. And I'm gonna try and get some seeding in here. We'll figure that out later. But next year, this is going to be the, ooh, hi. Hi, blue passion flower. So pretty. Next year, this will be the jungle garden with the gourds and the vines and some more different types of plants that I can fill out to make it have a jungle feel. But that's all for this week. All right, that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed walking around with me, seeing what's blooming and what's growing out in the food forest and the vegetable garden. If you want to see some more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and you can see me and Echo next week. All right, thanks for watching.